Hello, and welcome back to the North Pole. This is episode 3 of my special seasonal build here in City Skylines PS4 console edition. So we've got toys, we've got coal. What we need is a way to get toys and coal to all the good and nice and bad and naughty children of the world. So how does Santa do that? Well, he flies. Today, my plan is to build a cargo Sleighport so Santa can get toys and coal to all the good children of the world. Let's talk about what that's going to mean. So first, obviously, we're going to need the airport. There are some pre-made cargo airports and cargo airport hubs that you can use from the transportation options, or I'll have the option to create a cargo airport wholesale thanks to the Airports DLC. My plan is to build the cargo airport through the Airports DLC. So in addition to the airport, obviously we'll want a warehouse for toys, some storage for coal. I think it would make sense to have a postal sorting facility to process all the letters that are going to come into Santa. I imagine USPS would be flying those up here. And then, of course, we'll need some stables for the reindeer. And there is a unique asset called Sleigh Ride. That's going to fit really nice alongside the stables to sort of create a sense of they're keeping the reindeer down here by the Sleighport. The big thing we need for cargo Sleighport is a ton of flat space. You know, I could look at right up here, trying to bump this out and keeping everything nice and close. So putting the cargo Sleighport up here would make sense from an efficiency perspective. I am worried what it would do for noise pollution though, because this is really the only spot I feel good about this sort of population density. I also don't really know what sort of cliff I would be creating. So where does that leave us? Well, here's a nice big spot right here, but it's a little bit weirdly shaped. And I'll be honest with you, I did some test runs of this, and trying to fit everything into this spot right here was a nightmare. It's just created some really harsh terraforming. And just from a realism perspective, you want a place where it's easy for planes to come in and out. There's not a lot of obstructions. You know, I don't know how big of a deal this would be for an experienced pilot like Santa, but I think just in general, I wanted to have something that felt a little more easy to access from the air. And so that is what led me to this spot down here. Quite a bit of flat land at this point down here, and I think it makes sense. You know, there's plenty of room on either side of this for a plane to get in and out of here if we sort of orient the runway parallel to the river. First thing I'm obviously going to want to do for the sake of that is get this land out here. So I'm going to purchase this. Obviously, it would be really nice to have this little corner right here, but I don't know if it's worth purchasing a whole square that's not really going to be particularly easy to use with another little mountain right there. As much as I love this whole rock formation out here, I think I am going to get rid of it for the sake of the build. And then I want to just bring this forest back a little bit here. Not completely get rid of it, but just enough so that we have some room. Then the next thing we're going to do is I want to come in and just start creating this airport. Okay. I know it's going to give me some really harsh looking spots for now. I'm okay with that. We're going to come back and deal with all that. So then I want to come through here and look, and just so I can show you first, let me show you the cargo airport, the other options we have. Cargo airport, which came with the Industries DLC, is what I believe that means. This costs 200K, 3,200 a week, big noise pollution. This would fit really easily down here, no problem. It's got a tower on it, which I really like. But compared to what you can do with the Airports DLC, it's tiny. And then the hub here, this also does trains. But what I want to use, I think, is the cargo airport terminal facilities here. If we look, this thing is quite large. And I want to think about the orientation here, right? So I'm going to go ahead and come through, and we're going to expand our airport zone already. Now, the placement of this is really going to dictate a lot about what comes next, so I want to be smart with it here. I think we'll do like right there. And then I'll need to find the cargo aircraft stand. That's what we want right there. I think we can get by with one of those. And then I'll go ahead and bring the refueling station in right here too. So there's sleigh fuel. Let's see, what else makes sense to have sort of in the airport here? So obviously want to look at a tower, right? The issue is that I can't hook this up to this right here, this thing that would make total sense to hook it up to. It needs to be connected to a concourse, right? So if we come in here, just want to try to find a sweet spot in here. And that's not it. So I want to come through and turn off road guidelines, turn off the grid, turn off length, and we just want to try to get this as close as possible right here. And in fact, I may even throw down... That has a path already? That's interesting. That looks a little better. Then I can come through and say... like that. And that looks pretty clean like that now. You know, if we wanted to do a terminal, they're just huge is kind of the thing. I guess it would make sense to have one out here though, maybe. And then we would hook this up via the concourse. Okay, try it from this end instead. And I hate that, thank you. And that wants to look weird again, so why don't we just move it back a little bit and see... Oop, wrong one. There we go. I'm a little more happy with that curve like that. And the whole reason we did this is just to put the tower in here. In fact, there we go. And then I'll just come put a little more of a road back here. Yeah, there we go. Kind of would like to move this over. Would it just let me? Oh, it will. I can just connect into that now. That's so nice. So obviously this is for a passenger airport. I'm only using it here so that this concourse makes sense and we can have the tower, the air traffic control tower, because that won't hook up to this for some reason. Obviously the reindeer are still going to be down here, so we want to look at that. So that is, here's the sleigh ride asset I mentioned. You can see it's also got like a little sleigh hanger here. Alongside that, I want to come in here and look at, these are our tourism and leisure parks. Came with After Dark DLC. And I'm just going to go ahead and put a stable in. Just like that. Obviously it would make sense to have a little bit of fencing in here. Is there a way to get one right here, or is this too close? Okay, we'll turn grid off, because I think I do see room for one right there. There we go. We need to get the runway in here before we do too much else. So here's that. And I want to think about how long does this have to be. So I'll probably take it out to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 lengths here. I just want to have a nice clean takeoff. I'm gonna try that at a little bit of a different angle. Obviously, we also want to give the planes plenty of room to get in on that side. Okay. That looks a little better from that side. Looks a little better from that side. Could probably move it out just a little bit more. There's no harm in it, I don't think. And then obviously we'll need our taxiways. So if you're coming out, say you come this way. Oh, I am seeing a little bit of a problem here. This fueling station is not going to let me get into the airport stand quite as easily as I would like. Okay, so what I might do, I'm going to grab this. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to go ahead and pause the game just so I can not worry too much about what else is happening while I'm doing this. Okay, what I'm going to do is come through here. I'm just going to create a nice little square, and again, I would like it to be a square, please. Thank you. Why is it... How does that not... Why is that not square? Can you explain that to me? There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to put the fueling station in here, and then I'll put that cargo stand on the outside. Cargo aircraft stand. And I guess I'll go ahead and do it sort of right in the middle here, for now at least. And now I can come through with taxiways. Just want to go freeform. You can't curve it at all? Okay, that's fine. Why can't I delete it? I haven't used this DLC much, and I gotta be honest, I'm not a big fan of it. I think airports are often the most boring part of cities. I just don't get why it was necessary to have a whole DLC for them when there's so much still in terms of municipal services and all kinds of things that you could really, I think, be doing a lot more interesting things with. My 2 cents, for what it's worth. Okay. In fact, could I just come straight out from that? Yeah, that'll work. There we go. Okay. That looks a little more... That looks okay in terms of a runway. I think I do want to just try to... First, let me come through and we can dial back our airport zone now just a little bit where we can out here, since we know where the runway is going to be. Okay. I'll just get rid of this for now too. And then just want to come through and see if we can't soften this out a little bit now again. Just using that soften terrain tool. I've got the strength dialed way up. Big area of effect with the brush size. Just create a nice smooth riverbank there again. There we can. Beautiful, beautiful. Just getting rid of those lumpies and bumpies. And then through here, I don't know what this is going to do, because, oh god, I don't want that. Let me just try to dial some of this back a little bit first, like this. So it's not quite so cliffside through here. And I just want to create a little room for that to breathe there. And then sort of just smooth it out here. So backing that off first is a really important step into getting a nice smooth here. Obviously we want to just make sure we have plenty of room through here. But see, so I back that up, and then when I smooth it out, if I come in sort of at the top end of it here, you know, obviously it's going to push stuff back out towards the bottom there. But in this spot, I don't know if it's going to be possible. But see, I can bring the top back instead of the bottom out as much, and that'll help. We're going to sell more soil again. Okay, maybe that's a spot to bring some more rocks back in. I think that's all the essential components of the airport here. Now we just want to come out front and think about what else. Obviously, the first thing, we need to get traffic into here, right? So let's think about what that's going to look like. I'm going to create like a nice little circle right there, because I don't think, yeah, I can't upgrade those. That's fine. Let's think about the other pieces here. So I wanted a postal sorting facility. That'll be under the utilities here. Would that fit right there? Not quite. Okay. What if I come in like this? How's that gonna look? Not bad. I think what we'll do, why don't I just grab this, and we can do another one of these back here. How's that? Yeah, I like that better. Okay. Just bump this back a little more. So then I'd want a big warehouse. Like truly one of these huge ones here, I think. Keep gridding out here, because I think what I'll do is grab this, do that, and that can go there. Obviously we'll want this to be for unique factory products, and we'll go ahead and fill. What if instead we do, come on, how long is this? 760, okay. Go ahead, obviously, and extend that out to there. Come in with a little bit of coal. Or storage. Okay. Okay, I think this is everything I really wanted to get down here. Now I want to think about traffic patterns. I want to come in and upgrade all this, and then change the direction. So we're going to have trucks kind of circling through here to drop off coal or toys. Obviously we can't do anything about that, but we want them feeding all right into there. And then we could like complete this sort of circuit here a little bit. And then obviously we're changing direction again. So we'll just sort of have a big loop there. And we can put some other service buildings in here. So, you know, maybe it would make sense to have a firehouse down here somewhere. And I guess we could do a security office. In fact, is there any way to work this a little more organically in here somewhere? Doesn't really seem like it. Okay, let's put that right there. And put that facing it. So they'll be able to get to the airport very easily. Let me try to hook up some utilities here, and we'll see if we can't get this stuff running. Maybe that's the next place to go. Okay, so everything out here is going to need water. So I'm going to bring one under this road right here. And then we can bring that kind of straight through there. Run it out here, so both of these are well served. Then we can run it right down here. That'll get all of that. And just to this. We've got plenty of juice from over there. Because obviously the other thing we got to think about is where's our road gonna go to hook all this up? So let's think about that. Because I may want to put the road by the power. Okay. So I think what I want to do is come through here with this. And I want to start getting a little bit of elevation. Because I think that's going to help make this whole next part way easier. So, looking at the mountain here, there's a couple ways up, right? I could try to go straight up here. It would require so much switchbacking in a really tight space right here. I think instead what I want to do is I want to come like around here where there's a lot more gentle slopes, and then I can come over here, and that's also going to open up this nice flat spot right here. As you can see, there's a lot of residential demand right now, so I may want to look at building some more housing. We'll bring it down to road level right around there. Okay, just try to make that extended as long as we can for a nice clean. We'll go like that. And then I think the next step is to turn all this into highway, actually. Because that is going to massively boost the speed through here. I don't like to build with highway because it is a little more expensive. I guess it doesn't really matter in this build, obviously. Could have done all this all with highway. But I just really prefer to use that dirt road for construction, especially if I'm playing with the budget on. Especially on any sort of major infrastructure project like this. Now that I'm looking at this giant stretch of road I'm adding, I'm immediately seeing some other things I think it would be good to have down here by the airport, right? And that is not just the city services like fire and security, which are going to, you know, have a long trip down here, but other essential services that would also have similarly long trips down here, specifically garbage. Obviously, we're really good on our capacity right now, but still want to be thoughtful about it. The other big one being snow. So obviously the airport will want some snow removal. We'll go ahead and stick that right there so it has plenty of access to all kinds of different places. We can put security next to that. Maybe, I'm just trying to see if I can condense things a little bit here. Oh, that's beautiful. That'll fit just like that. And then I may just go ahead and stick a path right here. There we go. Okay, that's nice and tight now. I want to hook water up to something. And honestly, I may just put a water tower down here for the sake of convenience. It's not ideal. You know, obviously I would love to have all my water systems hooked up, but that is the long run. But with power, I don't want to build a whole new coal plant down here. And so I'm just going to try and stay nice and tight to this highway with this, while still having like logical big spacing between the individual pylons here. So I am just going to come around here. Won't follow the switchbacks completely, but still just kind of staying true to the road to a certain extent. And then what if I do put one of these in, like right here? That makes sense there, right? We'll see if that doesn't really do much. We'll back that off just a little bit. Hook it up to there. Alright, again, not the prettiest, but I'll take it. So, let me start this up again, and we'll see if we get juice down here. Ooh, yeah, something just took up a lot of electricity. Oh, I guess the other thing I didn't even think about was heating down here. Maybe it would make sense to have a boiler. Okay, I like that idea a lot actually. So let me I'm gonna throw one more road right here. There we go. I'll bring this in here. And we'll do the boiler right here. Ooh, just a little too small. That's okay. Oh, and they don't have any sewage down here because they're not hooked up to... Okay, and then what am I going to do about sewage? Is this going to have its own dedicated facility down here? I'm not crazy about that. When we've got one kind of stashed away up here that is doing more than enough for us. Quite a few jobs available, a lot of residential demand right now, so I anticipate we may need to boost the capacity, but we're not even close to halfway. Which leads me to think I am going to have to do what I didn't want to do and run a pipe here. So I'm going to take this alongside the road on the other side. The reason for that being, putting it directly under the road here means if you're going to do any work on this pipe, you're going to have to tear up the road. And why do that to yourself when there's plenty of room to either side of it here? You could very easily run this pipe. No problem. Go ahead and bring it up along the side here and get tools in and out easily now when you do, if you do need to make repairs to this, which I think is a really crucial piece. So then just go ahead and hook that up there. Give it a little bit of redundancy here. Okay, start this up again. See if that resolves the poopy problems down here at the airport. Auto save, have a little bit of iced coffee there. Okay, it is. So we had to get a little bit creative. Obviously creating another sort of hub of activity down here meant considering some things we'd need. And now that I'm looking at it, let's go ahead and check like our noise pollution. Interesting. What I want to do is if I can move all the noisy uses down to one end of this, I think we could put some residential down right here, which would be good. Because we've got a ton of residential demand, and we know this is going to all require jobs. So if I come in here, and we create a new zone, and then instead of calling it Rosewood Park, we'll call it the Cargo Sleighport. 570 jobs we've added. So that's a pretty big jump. Again, I want to try to find a better spot by this. I wonder now. Ooh, it's snowing. Let me move this here for now. What if I put a road back here? Would this fit? Oh, it absolutely would. And that looks a lot better like that, I think. Actually, kind of fits nicer into the Sleighport here now. Obviously, you need a little bit of landscaping work here. Again. And I don't think we'll be messing up our river too much, and there's really nothing else down here to get flooded, so I'm not worried about that. That looks pretty good. And then, how are you having crime problems? The police are like literally down the street. Why would I even... Oh my god, whatever. Okay. Then we can put that right there. I like that. And then that should seriously help bring the noise over towards a more concentrated area, which I'm really excited about. Okay, so I was going to bring... If we do like 6, let me check the terrain here. Yep, that is about it. Okay. And then... Okay. Maybe a little more room right here. I don't know, maybe we make this its own little thing here. Call it Sleightown, because obviously we'll need tons of Teamster elves down here to, handle all of this distribution and getting stuff to and from, plus all kinds of airport workers, guys to man all this stuff down here. It's going to be a lot down here, so... Okay, and then I want to look at Sleightown and say, of course, we want our European style buildings. So we get that consistent look throughout the area here. And I'm going to come through then and we'll say all of that. And how about all of this? And let me just look, could I put in like a little bit of a road right here? So that'll be a nice corner spot now. Same thing there. There. See if we can't try to just get one more good block in here. Because these airport roads are messed up. Like, big time. Like, whoa. Like, what the... And then we'll go ahead and do the rest of these. And we'll do these blocks right here. In fact, I will back this off a little bit. Maybe that could be some other uses. Because we obviously have seen a lot of commercial demand too, so that might make sense right here. Okay, we'll do that. And obviously we can come through with some parks now as well. Before I get into too much deeper here. I think that'd be a good place for a little snowman park. I guess we could look at a school down here too. We are kind of on the edge of our availability. And that may even convince me to just back off this. Because that's another good spot for some kind of park or something. Maybe we do the figure skating here. Okay. And I'll go ahead and throw one of these in too. In fact, why don't we switch those around? So that'll go there. And this could go right there. Oh yeah, that's great. Now that looks like it hooks up. I don't know if it actually does or not. I'm gonna go ahead and back this up. I just don't think we're gonna have quite that much commercial demand down here. And I really want to tank this residential. I'm gonna save this main road for now. Last thing here, need heat. There we go. I'm not sure how I feel about these back here. I love the European style high-rise buildings. I think that they are a really nice addition to any build to create a sort of old feeling part of town. I think they really struggle at the edges of things. They look really good in these nice clean blocks like this with the big corner spots. I mean, look at that. That's gorgeous, right? They look a little strange when you've got them like backed off here. Oh, geez. What's going on here? I wonder, can they get back there? Hold on. Is there a way to check snow on roads? There isn't. Interesting. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do then is we'll extend this out to here. Certainly did not expect this to be an issue. And there we go. Now we should be able to get snow plows. Okay, let's just keep an eye on this. And there we are seeing some utilization here. Who's using this? A camper van. How did a tourist get here? Oh, we are seeing okay. Oh, let's take a look at this. Okay. So bringing in a ton of mail. We're importing oil from this now. We might like. So that's going to Coal Town. A lot more mail, oil. I'm seeing a lot of oil, which we might expect. And a little bit. Oh, this is from the log yard, so that was exporting. Okay. So that was a drop off. Active flights 37. That's a lot. That seems like, is that not a lot? And there goes our plow, finally. Somehow tourists are getting in here too. I don't know if they're stowing away on the cargo or what that's about. But let's go ahead and just do this. And it looks like, hold on, I just want to see where these guys are going. So this ore storage is exporting. Okay. How do they interact with that? So they go out through those spots right there. Okay. So they all want to go out that one. They don't want to come out this one for whatever reason. Is that our plow's doing the job there? Okay. Very nice. There we go. Okay. So that was a pretty easy fix, all things considered. Obviously gave us just a little more. So you can, I don't know if you can hear me just kind of feathering that on my controller there. Just nice little, I like those little taps, especially at the high strengths, obviously. So let's go ahead and check in over here. Alright, so I officially hate how this looks. And I'm just going to pull this back. And I think we're going to go back to our old standby here. Oops. We're going to have to just do this. So I'm just going to call this sleigh down too for now. Because the only reason I'm doing this is so I can create a separate theme for European suburbia. And we can maybe try and sort of mix the two styles of housing we've been doing here together. A lot of crime at the airport. You see, I had some trouble here. Obviously, these corners were not perfectly square, which is the only way to get those perfectly square buildings in there, so it's a little bit of a bummer. Just zoning in a little more commercial down here. Already quite a bit of hustle and bustle. Added in a little park right there as well. Again, the airport has a lot of crime problems. Let's go ahead and check our population tab, we have, I mean, we do have about 500 open jobs. I think a lot of them are at the airport here. About 200 of them in Sleightown. Doing okay. Again, it's just that population. That's what we're looking for. Honestly, let me pull this back out. We're just going to do another big block at the high density here. Okay, that exploded in here. I guess we could also think about maybe just one little spot at the high density commercial there. So it'll stay consistent with our style. Okay, and then if I'm looking at this one here, you can see this airport has got this kind of all messed up. I don't know if we're going to get it any good clean. Go ahead and try it. And I'm just doing this to prevent these from getting super upgraded and looking goofy down here, which is a distinct possibility, trust me. If you've ever used the European before, it is one thing to keep mindful of, is that when these get really upgraded, they add a bunch of solar panels. So if you're using them for a historic look, that it's going to impact that, obviously. Adding in some very basic landscaping. Well, let's go ahead and check in on the airport. 0 passenger count, which makes sense. I don't know how we were seeing tourists down here earlier. It's costing us about $5,300 a week. Obviously, we need to change the name. Santa Sleighport. And then let's check. It's only 1% full. Beautiful. Sorted mail, unsorted mail. So the elves are doing a great job at the post sorting facility. We're just going to change this to letter sorting facility because we're going to assume everything coming to the North Pole is letters to Santa. Go ahead and call this a toy warehouse. And I want to call this coal storage. Let's go ahead and check the population down here. 530 in the high rises, another 100. It's about 600 people living down here now. Not too bad, pretty modest. But that should be more than enough for, yeah, all those jobs, plus there's a lot of other jobs that have popped in down here. Oof, 200 in Sleightown now? Okay. Filling up pretty quick though. Let's go ahead and check our education mix. I think it was wise. That did give us a little bit of extra capacity down here. Obviously high school. Doing okay. And then our library use has gone way down, it seems like, unfortunately. And maybe that's a factor of access to other forms of education. I'm not sure. I'm going to add in a couple of trees here real quick. Just a little bit of landscaping. There we go. Nice and clean right there. There we go. Nice row of trees right there. I don't suppose there's like anywhere back in here. Oh, there totally is. Some random little spots here. Ooh, yeah, fit a monster tree right there. Love that. So we got room for a couple right here. Okay, and I'm just going to try to do a little bit of quick and dirty landscaping back through here using my brush. The big trees, I'm just going to feather them in super lightly. And then I'll come through with these smaller evergreens. And just try to create a nice dense little feel through here so it kind of makes sense, like, oh, the town ended because they didn't want to cut down all the trees. Here we go. Well, let's just check some vital stats before I call it a day. So, traffic seems to be fine down here. We're at 91% across the city. This didn't create any problems up here really at all either, although obviously you can see quite a bit of hustle and bustle. Check our numbers here, 4%. Okay, we've only got 300 jobs open. Water and sewage are fine. Power is gorgeous. Fire hazard is okay. Nothing really bad down here, aside from a little bit at the airport, but I think that's okay. Crime rate, 8%, no big deal. Healthcare is fine. Was that my first? No, I've got two. Okay. But it does make sense to have one down here. Death care, all good. Not going to worry about that stuff for this one. Levels are going to stay pretty low, I imagine. So this is our first big transport infrastructure. Let's go ahead and look at our snow coverage. Everything's green, even all the way out here, so that's good. Plenty of heating availability, like way too much, honestly. That second boiler was really unnecessary. Maybe it makes sense to have a post office up here. And then obviously, you know, Santa's gonna need a post office nearby to the workshop here where he's working so that the letters are coming into there and then they're going to him. Go ahead and check real quick what our employment figures look like. So pretty good there, 515 out of 600. Down here at the mines, 319 out of 366. Not bad, really. And the Sleighport's still about 100 short, but I think that's okay. We got a ton of planes coming in here. And they're going out as well. That was... okay. Is that really how they do it? Oh my god. I'm just gonna watch this for a second and see how these planes are leaving here, because if they're really gonna back all the way down this, that doesn't, like, come on guys, be real. Alright, well, whatever. I'm gonna leave well enough alone. Be pretty satisfied with this little air town we built down here now. This was my first time playing around with the airports DLC. If you noticed anything I did that was silly or goofy or you have advice, please let me know. I'd be happy to clean this part of the build up in a future episode. But for now, I wonder if I can grab an airplane on its way in here. Okay, this guy's coming in here, right? Yep, sure is. Alright. So we got a cargo airplane coming in here. So this was my first time playing with the airports DLC really meaningfully. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I did do a test run on this to see sort of what would make sense, what fit where. Especially I knew there were a couple of components here I really wanted to make sure that we're at the cargo Sleighport. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. But this was a lot of fun, and I'm glad Santa now has a way to get all the toys and coal to all the good children of the world. In the next episode, I think there's a couple of things I'm thinking about. One is that, you know, Santa has, you know, all these toys for good kids and coal for bad kids now, but he doesn't have any way to keep straight what goes to who. So we may need to think about making sure Santa has a way to produce and maintain a list. I think there's a unique factory that might be really helpful with that. And then the other thing I've been thinking about is, you know, now that Santa's operation is kind of up and running here, it might be nice to let some kids to come see it. Maybe buy a certain famous train that kids have used for quite some time to come see the North Pole. So, a lot to do. Thanks for tuning in. Check out the rest of the series on YouTube if you haven't seen it yet. Episodes 1 and 2 are up there now. And come back. Stay tuned. Happy holidays. Take care of yourself. Bye.